I've got about 3 announcements, and frankly, I'm a little excited about every one of them. And let me lead with this. Did you know we have a podcast? Well, we do. You may not have found it yet, but this is where they're going to be coming from because this is Nate's shop. It makes it convenient for him with the editing and everything, and so, it's a good spot. So we're going to be recording and uploading podcasts from right here. A podcast, as you probably know, is a discussion format. And there's just got to be more interest, or at least a different type of interest, in the discussion and the give and the take and the threads of information and interest that come up when 2 or 3 people are talking, rather than just when one carpenter's, talking to you on a computer screen.
I got to think they might not make that public to all their employees. Probably not a good idea, right?
Yeah, I think it's kind of closely guarded if you can. And there are ways to kind of ferret it out, but I didn't know what the word podcast meant until 6 months ago, but we're pleased with it. And in fact, we had Phil on here last week, and Phil is a fascinating guy to talk to in any setting. And when you get across the table with him and Nate's asking the questions...
I thought plumbing was some form of punishment. And there was no babysitters back then, or that I knew of. Once in a while we get a babysitter when Mom and Dad went out to dinner. But we went to work with Dad. Dad was the babysitter, and Mike was real young, and he just sat in the cab of the truck all day long.
Wow.
And I was under the house staring through a block at my dad yelling at me, hurry up.
He's tapping his toe on the ground, wondering why you're so slow. I think it's a good long-form format for drawing out stories that are interesting, humorous, and probably instructive. So I hope you check it out. We're recording all these discussions just like this, and so you can watch them on our second channel, EC2, but we're also going to make the audio files available on Stitcher and iTunes and all the normal podcasting outlets. You can, there'll be links in the notes. You can check that out. But here's the deal. You can listen like an ordinary podcast, or you can watch, because we're going to be uploading it. So you can take it, either way. And we, of course, will be watching for your comments for ideas and suggestions as ways to make that format better too, because you've sure had a big positive impact on this effort. So we'll be counting on you to bring your ideas to the table in the podcast as well. Announcement number 2, the Spec House. So let me rewind the tape just a little bit and say that some of the comments, and probably all of you, are thinking, wow, is that guy really that slow that he started this foundation in May, and here we just saw a video about what, underfloor plumbing or decking or whatever it is that you just watched, like we're just so slow? Well, we're not that slow. Although shooting and filming building a house, let me tell you, it does cut your productivity in half. But our goal was to have this thing dried in, that is tar paper on the roof and watertight by Halloween. Well, we're going to beat that. I'm going to have this thing watertight by the end of next week, which will be, about the 12th or something, I don't know what the date is, but mid-October, dry. And it's a huge relief because this is Oregon after all, and the rains do come, and once they get here, they don't stop. But we made it, and just in the nick of time, because frankly, I don't know if you can tell, but I've lost weight, I haven't been sleeping, and I've just kind of got it worn right down to the nub, which brings me to our third announcement. I get a vacation, and I get to take my bride. Kelly and I are going to Texas. Same deal that I went to last year. I don't know if you remember, I went to the Good of the Land Festival. Well, they're doing it again. They've put together another Good of the Land Festival, and this time it's in Temple, Texas, at the Texas Early Days Tractor Association grounds. Now, I am excited to see it. It's like last year, only more of it, and bigger, and more action, and more things to do, and more YouTube personalities. I think Jimmy DeResta is going to be there. I just can't wait to meet that guy. I've never met him, I've never had a sentence of conversation with him, but in a lot of ways, he was a YouTube mentor for both Nate and I as we started this effort, and so it'll be good to shake his hand and say, thank you, Mr. D. So last year's event, I don't know how to describe it, except in a lot of ways it was a watershed moment for me. No idea what to expect. But I have all year been remembering how sort of energizing it was to be able to put faces with the names that were showing up in the comments, and that meet people that I had, I will never forget some of those conversations. I will never forget meeting some of you people. I will never forget the sensation of, wow, what felt like just a social media friendship, as it turns out in real life, is a friendship. And to get some of the details of your lives, and can't wait to go back. Nate can't come with me this year. He's busy trying to upload content from the Spec House. He's way behind on that. It's a monumental job. So he's staying here, and I'm bringing my bride. I'm bringing Kelly with me. I can't wait to show her a little good weather in Texas and introduce her to some of my friends. And you know, we'll probably eat some Texas barbecue like we did last year. And I don't know if A-Bomb's going to be there, but I know that there's going to be a lot of people there that I will always be glad I met. And so Texas, I feel like, for once in my life, is a well-deserved vacation. Can't wait to take it, and maybe we'll see you there. Okay, so the last announcement is, for those of you who are supporting the channel, and let me just say this, that as I understand it, the motivation for people to support the channel through the various mechanisms, you know, donor box and Patreon, the motivation is so that creators can keep creating. Let me tell you this, your support has made it possible for us to keep doing this. That's not hyperbole, that's not exaggeration. I can tell you that your support has made it possible for us to continue pushing ahead on this, and so thank you for that. The Reddit group, the interactive Reddit group that we've been talking about, remember we asked you what the format should be and where we should do it. Well, the conclusion was we're doing it on Reddit, and we're hoping it becomes just a freewheeling information database exchange for all questions, construction, blacksmithing, productivity, craft. We hope that it becomes a real forum for broadening the impact of craft in the lives of a lot of people. So if that's interesting to you, maybe you didn't get it yet, if you're a supporter, the information is there for you. You can check the notes to this video. All of the links, all of the access will be spelled out and made, you know, you'll be able to figure out how to get there, and you'll have some idea of what to do when you show up. And our hope is that it'll be a good thing over time. And I think that's it for the announcements. I hope that the shots of the Spec House that we've shown you for the last 5 or 6 minutes are not a spoiler, but rather an enticement to hang with us, because we've got a lot of stuff going on there, and looks like maybe I'm going to survive it. It's been a ride. Nate's doing a great job. We have more plates spinning right now than any time in either of our lives, and not too many have hit the ground. I'm sure some of them will, but in the meantime, thank you for watching Essential Craftsman, and keep up the good work.